Today, I'm going to talk about 5 reasons not to retire. Maybe a contrarian view. However, the decision to retire is an important one and it shouldn't be taken lightly. There are many factors that you need to take into account before you make that decision. Of course, deciding to retire isn't necessarily a final decision. You could go back to work if you needed to. You could take part-time work. So it's not an either-or decision. However, if you're thinking of making the plunge, and particularly if you're planning, which of course is my big thing, making sure that you've planned and made the best decisions for you personally. So 5 reasons not to retire. The first one, I think, is financial stability. So you give yourself the best opportunity to put yourself in the best position to be able to retire comfortably, whatever comfortably means for you. Setting realistic expectations, maybe giving yourself some more time to pay off a mortgage or save some more money, some more time to watch investments mature. So lots of reasons really for not making a snap decision on retirement, and making sure that you're in the best position to be able to weigh up your options financially when you are facing that decision. So I think money is always the biggest concern for anyone contemplating retirement. And of course, my series isn't about let's retire today. My series is about planning for retirement and making sure that we've got all of our options open and that we've made good decisions, both in regard to our finances and our health, before we take the plunge. The second reason not to retire is social contact. Many people enjoy the social contact. They have friends in their workplace. They may have worked with a team or a group of people for many years. And to cut off that contact, to leave, can be confusing and worrying. So I don't know what your experiences have been, but there is a fear, I suppose, that once you leave your employment, people will forget about you. My personal experience has been you try to keep in contact with people for as long as you can, but they gradually drift away, and you lose contact over time. I mean, my personal circumstances is that I work remotely, and I have done for the last 4 years. So I really think that I've only personally, physically met the team that I work with, lovely, brilliant people. But I think I've only met them 4 or 5 times in the whole time that I've been working for my current organization. So yeah, I don't know when I do decide to retire what their how they'll stay in contact, or whether I'll stay in contact with them anyway. So certainly a couple of people that I considered to be friends were left the company, and And I stayed in contact with them for a little while. And like everything else, that contact gradually faded away. I think working remotely is also problematic in terms of maintaining friendships, because the people on my team came from literally all over the country, from end to end, which means that it isn't easy to get together physically on a social basis. So, yeah, I do think that social contact, friendships can be important, and maintaining those needs regular contact. It's like if you, with any of your friends, they'll drift away if you aren't in regular contact with them. So yeah, that's the second reason. The third reason is security. So work gives you a routine, it gives you a purpose, it gives you a regular income, and depending on your particular circumstances, many people, when they retire, are on a fixed income. So we go into the spend phase rather than the save phase, which is what we've been doing, hopefully, for most of our lives. And so all of a sudden that security blanket can disappear, which is one of the reasons why I say that retirement isn't the end necessarily of working. You might decide to do something part-time, one, to maintain some social contact or make new friends, or two, to supplement any pension income that you have. So it's not an either or decision to retire. It's not irreversible. You can go back, although I do think it gets harder to do that the older that you get, and whether or not there are employers that will accept you. There's no doubt there is age discrimination in the work marketplace. So that could be problematic as well. And very often, it's horrible to say, but very often part-time jobs may suit you. What I'm going to say, tend to be less taxing, less stressful, less well paid, generally minimum wage. So it's something to consider, what types of opportunity for part-time work are truly out there, and whether or not you're prepared to undertake work which is below your knowledge and skills grades. But certainly it's an option. So yeah, that safety net, that security is a concern for many people, and something that you need to consider if you are planning retirement. The fourth reason not to retire is continued relevance, and to be honest, this is more about your mindset, your personality. If you've had jobs where you've had a certain degree of authority or expertise or importance, then it's difficult sometimes, I think, to step away from that position. So again, for me, this is a mindset. At some stage, you're going to have to make the decision to retire. Now, whether you can transition comfortably or smoothly, but it's your decision. So it's certainly something to think about, how you view yourself as a person, how you view yourself your um, in your society, and it can be a difficult transition to suddenly decide that enough is enough, and you're happy to take a sort of a back step. So quite an interesting one, which doesn't really have anything to do with health or finances, but could well be something that's important as far as your own well-being is concerned. And certainly, I know people who have found the lack of decision-making powers or work authority to be a difficult transition. All of a sudden, they're not making these big decisions. They're not directing people. They're just making decisions for themselves during their day to day. The fifth and last reason not to retire is enjoyment. Many people enjoy their jobs. They have gained and built up skills, experience, qualifications, knowledge over a significant period of time. And losing the ability to be able to use those knowledge, skills, qualifications, experience can be a bit of a wrench. And you can think to yourself, well, what do I do now? What was the point? Again, enjoyment of your role, the work you do, the benefits that your work creates for other people, the skills that you have and are proud of. Mean it's difficult to let all that go, and so yeah, I think of all of the reasons, apart from financial stability, I think if you really enjoy what you do, I think it's very difficult to let go. It really can be a struggle. But again, like I've said on a number of occasions, it's about you making the transition for yourself and knowing when is the right time to make that decision. And planning gives you options. Planning allows you to decide and not be forced. So you're party to the discussions that you have about your own future. But each of the three things that I've described today might be some of the things that are holding you back from making that final decision. And remember the 5 reasons that I gave for retiring. They certainly need to be included within the decision making process. But making a decision to retire isn't a bad thing. Making a decision to stay on in your workplace isn't a bad thing. Everybody's different. Everybody has different circumstances, and it isn't a one size fits all. My circumstances have led me to a position where I'm contemplating retirement, but I'm still weighing up all of the pros and all of the cons to make sure that when I do make the decision, it's the right decision for me. And that's all that anyone can ever ask. So yeah, make sure that you've laid out all of the options, all of the pros and all of the cons, and go through them and plan based on your conclusions from looking at those various different options. So that's it from me for today. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Please make sure that you like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. And like always, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay informed. Thank you.